Namadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, my dear friends. Welcome to Anartha Nivritti in Action. 12 steps how to get closer to Krishna. And yesterday we stopped at so today is a day 2, by the way, of the boot camp for your Anartha Nivritti. Yesterday we had a homework, and the homework was practically looking at your own life and writing down one area in your life where you want to work on, where you feel stuck. You don't have to share the answer to number 1 publicly if you do not want to, but it is a requirement for you to answer question number 2. How strongly do you want this block to be busted? So that shows how willing you are to be in this program. So kindly, you can either put it in the chat box or you can just raise your hands and just say the number. Okay, I see one is a 8, 10. Excellent. Well, 10 doesn't exist, but but that's okay. I'll give you 9.8. So how willing? Okay, let me share my number. 7.5 minus almost 8. Okay. What area of your work are you working on? That's your, it's optional to answer or not. Okay, another 10. That's the way. Yes, giving 100%. I like that. 10, another 10. Great. I'm happy. I'm happy for all of you. Lakshmita, Kavya, Deepika, Doshna, everybody's giving a 10. Excellent. I think you're catching up with the mood of the program. It's like I want 100% benefit. I'm gonna give 100%. Excellent. So, and if you like to share your prayer, you can unmute and just get the blessings of all the Sakhis here. What is your prayer? What would you like Krishna to hear? Krishna hears through the ears of his devotees, if you remember. Or you can put it also in the chat box. I can read it for you. Okay, we have another 9. Excellent, excellent. So the idea is that depending on how eager we are, the results will be accordingly to that particular issue that we're trying to work. But remember, every day the number can be different. Today it's a 10, tomorrow maybe it's a 8, and the day after maybe 11. The more desperate we are, the number goes up. When we notice how difficult this block is. Okay, I need to hear at least 2 prayers. Anybody
Hare
have?
Krishna Mataji, can I go? Hari Bol. Can you hear me, Mataji?
Yes,
Yeah,
perfectly.
okay. So I've taken fear and I've given full 10. Actually, I have different types of fear, but I just made it generalized as fear. So the prayer goes like this. Dear Lord Gauranga, my lives have become unmanageable due to fear. Every cell in my body and the whole mind is consumed by fear. I tried to control many times and failed badly. Still, how many more distress I need to truly realize I'm not the controller? How many decades will it take to understand that I'm safe and I'm perfectly guarded by you? O Patita Pavana Gauranga Mahaprabhu, I surrendered everything to you, this diseased body and the constantly agitated mind and the whole myself. Please take control over them and please remove the fear that has been consuming me and please let me come closer to you, one step at a time. O the cause of all causes, kindly be merciful unto me and give me the knowledge and the strength to know that I'm on the right path. Hi Krishna.
Jai. Everybody say Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
Hari Bol.
So let's make a prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, our best friend Krishna, so that he helps Lakshmita and may her prayers be answered. We also have a prayer in the chat box because Doshna is in a program, so I'm going to read it on her behalf. Dear Krishna, please guide me on the path of being in self and in devotion. You are all powerful as you've created this entire Brahmanda, the cosmos. You pervade everything. You're most accessible and my refuge. I become big and small, moving away from self. Please make me willing to start see this journey and tread this path. Excellent. So let's all pray at the lotus feet of Sri Krishna to help Doshna and to bring her closer to Krishna and help her in this process of Anartha Nivritti. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Now we get started on the day 2, very important day, because today we're going to get the whole picture of what you need to do and what you should not do as well. But we will not touch too much what you should not do today. We will get to it in step 3 and 4. Okay, so the theme is from self-centered to selflessness. This is the journey of 12 steps. It's all about getting out of that self, the lower self, and accessing our higher self. And see, one thing is to know what is the right thing to do, but actually doing it is another thing. So today's topic is moving from theory to action, because we have to face it. Many times we tell ourselves, this is what I need to do, but I'm not a saint. So by the end of the day, I haven't even allowed myself to move closer to Krishna the way I could have. Why? Because we get stuck with all these anarthas. Anarthas are not just depending on sex or alcohol or all those externally strong addictions. It's also these subtle addictions like fear and anxiety and giving into our stuckness, all these things. So this program is about breaking free from those addictions and self-sabotaging patterns. This is the key, self-sabotaging patterns. So that the binding of the self. So also in the IFS work, we were talking in the Atma Vichar that get blended. So we get unblended. So this is a process, the 12-step model. It's transformed so many countless lives, including my own. And this program, the Anartha Nivritti, it's inspired from the original 12 steps. And in the original Alcoholic Anonymous, they have 100 days, 100 meetings. This is for people who are really desperate. And if especially those of you who gave a 10 to working on your problems, when people are really desperate, they've lost their homes, they've lost their families, they lost their children's custody, they're fighting in court, maybe they went to jail and they came back and then they hit the meetings. And then when they hit the meetings, 100 days, 100 meetings, that's how they really transform their lives. So that approach is all about building the consistency, making it a lifestyle, making it a habit, taking accountability, making efforts to make that real change. Of course, this is a 30 days, 30 hours, but it does not mean that it is not because we don't want to give 100 days. This is only to shake things up, to break patterns, to help you get unstuck so that you hit the meetings. So this is not even the meetings. What you are watching is not even the meetings. It's just the trailer. You have to actually get to the movie, the series. Now, I'm going to get into this concept, why the 100 days, 100 meetings. We are doing it in 30 days, 30 hours, this crash course or the boot camp where we're getting serious. But then remember, there is the regular meetings, and we will give more links to how you can access the regular meetings. And we also have outreach calls where you have support from the community who is working. Whatever, it doesn't matter. One is working on food addiction, maybe another is working on social media addiction, another is working on workaholism, another is working on not being aligned to Krishna's will. It doesn't matter what the issue is, we have support system within our community here. So I want to share a little bit about this process, why, and individually for me, how it helped me. The more I shifted my focus from what about me? Who am I going to be? My problems, my this, my relationships, to how can I serve? Everything. My whole life started transforming. So in this 12-step process, service is the key. Before I found a 12-step program, I was still helping. I'm a helper by nature. I was helping, but the energy where I was helping was not coming from the higher self. It was actually so blended with so many other parts of mine. And the focus was so much me, mine, my name, and getting stuck on my people. Somebody likes me, somebody doesn't like me. So it was so much on the bodily platform, so much on the mental platform. And I could feel that there was something missing and I wasn't really advancing spiritually. My japa wasn't getting better. I was struggling so much more than now. Japa is always a struggle, but the struggle was like really serious struggle. And then I realized very quickly that my addiction was me. That's a wrong understanding of self, my own selfishness, my own self-centered thinking. So the external problems were only a reflection of me being selfish, me going through this endless over-analysis, overthinking, and then entitlement, expecting people to behave in a certain way. So that was what was keeping me trapped in this cycle. Then when I started this program, and then when I started to revive my Krishna consciousness one day at a time, okay, this is very important formula, one day at a time. I really have to say, months and months into this program and years passing, I really felt the troublings dissolving. The troublings, especially the internal troubles, it was just dissolving. And it wasn't easy, but it was certainly rewarding. And I must say, I had really good friends, good guides on this path, every step in the way. And I must say, I also lost many people that were guiding me. Some rejected me because the program that I took up, the boot camp, it was really like a boot camp for me when I took it up. There were many rules. And some of the people that were guiding me, they dropped me, they rejected me, they threw me out. So once I slipped from what we call as the bottom line behaviors, we will get to that as we go to the end of step one. So bottom line behaviors, and then I slipped from it. I wasn't keeping to what I had written as my bottom line behavior. I slipped and they gave up on me. And then, but I learned a lot from that person as well when she said, I'm sorry, I can't help you anymore because your readiness, your level of readiness is not good enough for me to spend my energy on you. That was really like a hit for me. But then I realized, people were alcoholics and super serious drug addicts. They were able to recover only because of that willingness. That willingness was so important in the program. Of course, that's not how we work in this program. I'm just sharing you my story. Another person I was taking guidance from, who was guiding me through the steps work, she had a very strict rule in the whole program. The rule was every day you need to make 3 phone calls. And for a few days, I didn't. Like 2, 3 days, I was sick, something happened, and I didn't make the phone calls. And that person said, you're not ready. I'm sorry, I can't help you at this stage, maybe later when you're more ready and you can keep to the top lines. Top lines are behaviors that we want to do. And she said, I'm sorry. And she also gave up on me. So the point was now, and then later I found another guide, what they call in the program is like a sponsor, who has tolerated me over 4 years now. So by the grace of the Lord and grace of Guru Maharaj, Vaishnavas, now we have our own Krishna conscious meetings where we can tweak the rules. And like many of you, I also still struggle with overthinking, codependency, feeling stuck, workaholism. At the same time, I must say my uh, ability to deal with those things. Earlier, if it would take me 3 days to process something, now it takes maybe 3 minutes. Of course, the idea is that even the 3 minutes should become immediately integrated. We immediately give it to Krishna. I kept giving myself my time, my energy, my hope, and into people and situations that were like broken vessels. People could not hold me. No matter how much I poured in, nothing was staying. So I really felt drained, exhausted, and unfulfilled. And now it's like I know the pot that I need to pour is Krishna. It is nobody, it's nothing else, it's not my goals. So I must really say, I this really changed my life. It really gave me the capacity to surrender to Krishna. This process was really helping. So then I started doing these group meetings, especially the closed group meetings for Vaishnavis who needed a safe space, who were ready to recover from this weaknesses and rise and become stronger and become more self-loving. And then I also published, since I started the program, over 6 books. Yeah, 6. So to express in words how I was going through the transformation. I even wrote some songs on recovery and coming back to Krishna, and starting with song on Gajendra and comparing that crocodile to my weaknesses. And there is a whole prayer thing that I wrote, how to pray to Krishna when we're having different struggles. There's like a whole section, you'll be given the whole prayer section. Those of you who did the program already know different prayers for different situations. And I don't want to forget also my capacity to, in my career, my monetary situation, my financial situation also got stabilized after I started this program. So it turns out that when I stopped controlling my plans and I started letting Krishna lead, and I used this system, this program, allowed Krishna to take over in every circumstance, and as making it as a habit, things really started falling in place. I was not where I am now 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So I'm constantly now reinventing myself. I'm embracing Krishna's plan every day. Instead of fighting against my anarthas, I'm actually working with the anarthas. I can actually approach Krishna together, with the anarthas, and working, I do every time I have a part in me that is having a problem, I go through this 12 steps with every part. So it's become like a habit. In the beginning, it'll take a long time, and then it'll become 1 minute, you can do all 12 steps. So it's like that. So enough about me. Let's talk about the program and how it actually works. Let's see if there's any questions. Yeah, some of you are sharing what you're working on. Okay. Yes, good. Now, going back to, we're not doing 100 days, 100 meetings. Some of you did that with me, and congratulations. And those of you who did that with me and would like the certification, we are going towards that now with this meeting and regular meetings also. I'm very proud of Aishwarya and Oshna, who have started their own meetings and doing it. So you have support here. You can come. We will give more details in the description box how you can access. So the key to recovery is getting out of self and being of service. And we will hear more from those of you who did it in the next days. How getting out of self helps you. When I say self, this is a concept which can be used in different ways. So in the Alcoholic Anonymous, in the big book, what they call it, so the concept of the self they are talking about is the addicted self, is the self that is very much blended with everything. So when we talk about the Atma Vichar program that some of you have been exposed to, there, when we talk about being in self, it means the higher self. So the concept of self needs to be adjusted depending on the program we use. So this particular statement, getting out of self and being of service, is the self that we're talking about from the addiction program of being addicted to blended self. Okay. So getting out of that blended self and being of service. And that's the goal of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. That's our path as well. All right. Now, when you get into the practical things, what is a support person called in AA, Anartha Nivritti in Action, or the AA meetings, which are, see, we feel, when we are feeling trapped in our weaknesses, that blocks that spiritual progress. And so in the Alcoholic Anonymous program, they call this person who guides you through the 12 steps as a sponsor. And we will have a different name. The revealing moment will be soon. So we have a name for it. But it's a spiritual mentorship, or it's like a spiritual friendship where your the name blank, it's coming soon, is somebody who's gone through the process, who has done the 12 steps, and they will guide you through those 12 steps. They'll share their personal experience, their strength and hope. This is another formula they have. Sharing your experience, strength, and hope. That's how you grow. That's how you recover. Then The other thing that the support person will do is they will keep you accountable on your recovery journey. So it is somebody who will sacrifice their time and energy for you. They support you emotionally and spiritually through this process, not just listening to any problem. No, we get out of that self and we work the program. Okay, because nobody can overcome addictions alone. We do it together. We heal together. Now, let's go next. Ta-da! The moment of revelation of the names. This will be the certification as well for those of you. I'm waiting more than you guys. I'm waiting for your. So there are two functions. There are more than two, but two functions that we'll address today. One is becoming a Sangha Sevika. That like already some of you are doing it. You are facilitating meetings where you use the manual that we have. You have we will give you everything. We will train you. Some of you have been trained. Last 1 year, we've been doing the programs and you have already learned how to facilitate within our closed group, and you started your own group. And you have started, what I understand is one of you has started a closed group, another has started an open group. So the difference between closed group and open group is, I'll get to that in the next slide. So the Sangha Sevikas are those who run the meetings on your own. So you'll be given a certificate to say that you're authorized from this congregation, ISKCON community life, and you will be given we have an online ashram, Sri Radhika's ashram. So you'll be given a certificate that qualifies you to run these meetings in any language, and online, offline, whatever. Okay, so I am very proud to say that very soon you will all witness the program, the awards and the certification program of some of the members who already did it with me with the 100 days. Those of you who will complete will get this certification. And then we have another function, which is the Priya Sevika. Priya Sevika is a very intimate service where you guide the person through the 12 steps, where you become the companion of that person. You give your individual time and energy, and the world doesn't see it. Only Krishna sees it. Krishna sees the time and energy you're putting. It's not going to be a social media post. You're not even going to publicly reveal, hey, I am the Priya Sevika of this person. No, it's a very secret service. It's a Guhya service. It's like a service that is very intimate, where you're guiding another individual to come closer to Krishna through these steps, because you've already gone through it and through that. And I must say that in the whole program, this was the most fulfilling and uplifting thing for me. When you are guiding another person, Krishna just immediately gives you access. Okay, so these are the two functions that we have here. Once you complete 12 steps, you will naturally become a Priya Sevika. Whereas the Sangha Sevika, you will need to be approved to make sure that you're trained how to run the meeting yourself, then you'll be given. But Priya Sevika is somebody who, once you complete your 12 steps, that's our goal. You become a Priya Sevika once you complete your 12 steps. And then you can help other people, guide them through that. Next. This is, I'm coming to the open meetings and the closed meetings. Who are these meetings for? There are open meetings, which this is not an open meeting, for instance. This is a closed meeting, but at the same time, the video is available for you to see. So these are not even meetings. So this is actually a different setup. Now, closed meetings is what we had in the past. Some of you have that experience. And for those of you who don't know what is a closed meeting, like Doshna is running a closed meeting. Closed meeting is you select a certain number of people that are very serious, who give a 10 or a 9 or something to their issue that they want to work on. When you start a meeting with that group, and you don't allow any new strangers to come in, you don't put the link of this meeting publicly. So this is a closed meeting. And I have done several closed meetings. Open meetings, we did one in the past, but we haven't yet opened it. It's coming soon, like coming soon category. Keep checking the website for more information. We will have some open meetings and some closed meetings. Closed meetings is where you get individual attention. We will have exercises, and you will need to do some work. Whereas open meetings are welcome to anybody. You want to invite your sister, you want to invite your friends, you want to invite your neighbor, you want to invite some Bhakti Vriksha members to come and check it out. They can come and check it out. We'll be reading from the material and they can just see. And usually we invite people to first come to the open meetings so they can see, is this for me? Is this going to help me or not? Because everybody will be sharing. And in an open meeting, we may not go too deep into your issues, whereas in a closed meeting, you have more access. But both open meetings and closed meetings will not be recorded. These are all no recording meetings. And in a closed meetings, it's a video only meetings. So like right now, many of you have your videos off. So this will not work in a closed meeting. You need to have a video on because it's like a very personal one-on-one working relation where we are all opening up and speaking. So this has to be on video on meetings only. In open meetings, sometimes we do keep the option that without video you can join, but I haven't done that. I've always had meetings with video on rule because this is to protect the confidentiality and the privacy of the members who come and share. Because if you don't know who is behind the screen, we may not be very comfortable to have a meeting set up. Again, this is a different style what we're doing. This is a boot camp crash course style. But when we do meetings, it is recommended. But again, it will depend on your discretion. If you're running a closed meeting and you know who are the members, it's okay. You don't need to have that rule. So we can adjust that. It's not a hard and fast rule about videos. Okay, video on thing, but we can adjust that according to the meeting. So we will put in the website the details, which meeting is open, which meeting is closed, which is a video only, which is the audio and others we can have so that people have freedom to go and check it out. Okay, what literature do we use? So this has been a journey, actually, for those of you who've been with that journey, thank you. The whole thing is, can I really change? When I was joining the other group meetings and I would watch the literature, some things were relevant, some things were not so relevant, some things were completely irrelevant. So it was important to have our own Krishna conscious literature. So this, the handpicked quotes, stories, references, exercises, reflections, which will really help us to break free from the Anartha Nivritti. We also have considered the demons, different demons that represent the Anarthas in the Krishna Leela pastime. So this is not just another book. This is actually a manual for devotees, specifically designed to tackle the spiritual roadblocks in our sadhana bhakti. And for those of you who will be doing this course, you'll be getting also handouts, exercises, reflections, if not every day, every few days, which will help you dig deep on to understand how to find tools to help yourself make your mind a friend and harmonize with your path in Krishna consciousness. And one more thing I wanted to say was it's not so much about willpower in this program. It's not like any other therapy or any other counseling sessions. It's not really about willpower. Because if it was about willpower, we'd all be cured already and completely aligned. So this is actually a program that is centered on surrendering. This program 12 steps helps us how to surrender to Krishna in a certain systematic way, helping up mind to surrender in a certain way, and surrendering to higher power, breaking free from certain self-obsessions, stepping into that higher self, stepping into that Krishna designed path for us, aligning one day at a time, one step at a time, in the actless, in a selfless act, to not act from my self, like the self of the lower self, the blended self of Om, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. These are all like different parts in me. That's not me. But then when it's completely blended and I'm acting from that place, I'm confused. I'm drained. I am suffering. I'm struggling. But then when we can allow Krishna to shine that light through us, That's that process, how to let Krishna shine that light is that. So if you're ready, we get started on this. And welcome again to the boot camp program, intensely caring for yourself through these 12 steps of Anartha Nivritti. Thank you. And if you have any questions or comments, now is the correct time.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So, uh, so it will take some of the part from the Mana Shiksha, right?
Correct.
I was very eager to learn.
If you go back to the previous video, I gave some examples of which verse of Manashiksha and which step, but when you in the next days you will see more of Manashiksha and references.
Really want to do. Is there this program is any other language like Hindi or something?
We're waiting for you to start it in Hindi. Yes, the idea is, yes, we will have. Yesterday already we started translation in Spanish, and there's a friend of mine, she's going to start in Spanish. So we have plans for it. And because you see, again, this is not a self-made program. It's inspired by Krishna. So as Krishna inspires individuals, it will go. So we don't want to do too much. This is exactly the plan. This is how we're going to do. We're going to be open. Who Krishna inspires, who finishes the step, who takes it, what they'll do, how many meetings there are. We never know. Never know how this will go because we are allowing Krishna here. We are, they say, I don't really like the concept, but I'm going to say it. One of my sponsors or one of the persons that was guiding me through the 12 steps, she would say, use God. She would say that. Use God. She was an African American, fired up, super dynamic person. And she would just say, no, you don't have to worry, Shri, just use God. And the idea was that you don't have to work from your self energy. It's not about that. It's about God's energy. So you become an instrument. And when you complete 3 steps, you will already, like some of you have finished. For example, Lakshmita, she can already, in a meeting, she can already facilitate a meeting like that. So when you complete 3 steps, you can already get training to facilitate a meeting within a closed group. And then later on, you can have your own meeting in different languages. So when Krishna inspires you, we can start translating into different languages so we can start it. It just requires 2 people to start the meeting, 2 or more people. That's all it takes.
Great.
Any other
Next time
questions?
I'll see.
Okay, so see you in the next session. Thank you very much for watching this video. And if you have not, if you'd like to be part of this, you comment something in the chat box and we will send you the handouts. Thank you. Hare Krishna.